Hello, how are you? I haven't turned on my camera in a bazillion years, and this light, this light isn't it. Of course, I'm starting to record a video at 8:30 in the evening. Also, look at my background. It's me and little T a bunch of months ago. Look how tiny he was. I feel like I have a million things to tell you because I haven't recorded a video for this channel in months. No, I lied to you. I recorded the video recently. It's like a clean with me, and my idea was that I was gonna record a voiceover for it, and I was gonna give you all the life updates of things that have been happening in the last few months because I haven't been talking to you. But then I've been just postponing editing that video, and so the consequence of that is that you still don't have the life update of what's been happening in all these months where I've just disappeared from the internet. So I'm kind of mixed of, do I want to tell you the life updates now, or do I want to just literally sit down on the computer, edit that video and record the voiceover right now for you? But I don't know, I'm hyped. It's 8:30 p.m. I'm gonna tell you the date just for context, because as of everything, I have no idea when this video is gonna go live. It's the 15th of August, and it's also the last 2 weeks we have in this house. I have so many mixed feelings with this. We are selling this house. No, we sold the house. The house has sold. We are in the process. For the last 3 months, we've been in the process of doing all the bureaucracy, all the paperwork and the lawyers and all the things that come with selling the house. I couldn't even tell you what it entitles to if I wanted to, because most of the things is just the solicitors that do, and then they send the paperwork and they say sign here, we sign there, and the process moves on. So I have no idea how the whole thing is. Why am I having like the silly energy? Anyway, of course my camera's running out of battery, so let me change that before it cuts me in the middle of a sentence. I decided to sit down because I feel like when I'm with this silly energy, it always helps when I sit down that the energy levels lower a little bit and helps me form cohesive thoughts. So we sold the house. It's the last 2 weeks we have, and I'm here all by myself, and even I don't know. Okay, I need to organize my thoughts. I don't know what to tell you. I have so much to tell you. I want to tell you all the things, but then there's also a million things that I cannot tell you because privacy. So basically, I've been in the house all by myself for the last week, and I have 2 more to go. And the idea was that I was going to stay here for 3 weeks because I was going to pack the entire house. Josh had to leave because we were moving abroad. Crazy. And he's starting a new job abroad, so he had to be there for the new job. I was going to say for the new broad. He has to be there for the new job. So he took our son with him, so the house could be completely empty, so I could pack all the things, because obviously if I have a baby here, I cannot pack his bedroom, his toys, his clothes, the kitchen stuff, the containers, all those things that I would need for him on a daily basis, and it would just be impossible. So he took the baby with him, and I was gonna have 3 weeks to pack the whole house. Turns out, this is a very long story, but I'm gonna try and cut it short. I couldn't start packing because we haven't received the boxes, and I haven't received the boxes because the moving company hasn't sent them yet, because last minute they turned around to us and they were like, oh, by the way, do you know how you were gonna pack your own stuff, but then we were gonna pack all the TVs and the computers and the valuable things for you, so those would be covered by insurance? Yeah, we cannot do that. So you're gonna have to either not get any insurance at all for, bear in mind the move that it's to another country, or if you want the insurance, we need to pack for you. And we're like, okay, cool, what's the price for you to pack for us? And then, I kid you not, for over a week we had been waiting for that quote, and we got to the point where we were like, okay, this is ridiculous, because even if they told us the quote today and we made the payment today and they dispatched the boxes, everything would still take a few days. So by the time the boxes get here, I only have a week to pack an entire house by myself, and it's just ridiculous. And we were very saddened by their service, because when we first started talking to this company months ago, because this move has been happening, the process, for months. I don't even know when we'd started, probably like March or something. I do have a whole video all about this. I don't know if it comes before or after this one, but I've been recording the whole process of trying to sell our house. So whatever, we've been talking about this for months because we were supposed to move there earlier, and then things happened with Josh's job, so it's just happening now. And the moving company has been great the whole time, and we were very happy with their service, but then recently they changed our moving manager, or whatever they call it, basically the person that relies everything, and this new person is absolute crap. So long story short, today, literally 2 weeks before we move, we decided to just cancel that moving company and find another one, and we already fought it. We We already booked it. It's booked. It's officially. We paid for. Oh my God, it's expensive to move to another country, but it's all done. We booked it, and we also booked their people to come and pack the things so that everything can be covered by the insurance for transportation. So basically, long story short, I stayed here supposedly for 3 weeks because I was gonna pack the house all by myself. Turns out I don't have to do any of that. So all the content that I was thinking I was gonna have and bring to this channel very soon of me trying to figure out how to pack a house all by myself, there's not gonna be any. I still need to do a couple of things. I need to disassemble a piece, two pieces of furniture or something, because they will disassemble big pieces. Basically everything that doesn't fit through the doors, we need to disassemble. But they only do that for 3, otherwise we'd have to pay extra. And because the whole thing is already so expensive, we're like, okay, fine, we'll pick 3. So we're probably gonna get them to disassemble the big sofa in the front room, our bed, and Josh's sofa in his office, which means that everything else that doesn't fit through the doors I need to disassemble. So at the moment I'm thinking it should just be TJ's crib / bed and the kitchen table, which is worrying me a bit because I need to flip it to remove the legs. I don't really need to disassemble the kitchen, I just need the table. I just need to take the legs out. It's worrying me having to flip an entire table all by myself because I keep picturing it that I'm gonna lift it and I'm not gonna be able to support the weight by myself, and the legs, like the 2 legs that stay on the floor, are just gonna like bend and crack, and there goes a perfectly good table. But fingers crossed it's not gonna happen like that and everything's gonna be fine. So that brings me to this video, which I kind of been waiting to start recording because it was gonna be like the move out procedures, and now it turns out there's not gonna be too much of that. So what I'm thinking is that this video is gonna be more of a spend the last 2 weeks with me in this house, because I'm here all by myself, just me and the dogs, and I have a lot to do, but I kind of don't. So instead of packing the whole thing, because I don't have the whole thing to pack anymore, I'm thinking I'm just gonna dedicate my time and energy and good moods to other things, namely my son's first birthday. I know, you heard that right. My sweet little baby boy is turning 1. I can't believe he turns 1 literally after we leave this house. We're gonna have, he's such a lucky boy, right? So he's gonna have 2 little birthday parties. He's gonna have one in the UK at Josh's parents' house with the friends that live in the UK, and then after the party, me and him are gonna fly to Portugal, which is where we're moving to, by the way. And he's gonna have the following day, which is actually his birthday, he's gonna have another little party there at my parents' place. So that one, I'm not really getting involved in organizing and decorating and whatever, because I'm only arriving with him at like 11 p.m. the day before. So I told my mom, crack on, do whatever you want, surprise me. So she's gonna do the whole thing, decorate, take care of the food, the cake, all the things. But for the party here, well, not here because we don't live close to Josh's parents. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that on this channel, but yeah, we live quite far away. But I'm gonna be staying with them for like 2 days after I leave here. So for this party, I'm doing some things together with my mother-in-law. So she's taking care of the food and whatever, because honestly I messaged her and I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not good at these things. When it's in my house, I always over-prepare and overcook and overbuy. And at the end, there's so much food left over. And I'm kind of alright with that because it's my own house. I know what I'm doing, but it's her house. So I don't want to be doing, like, going too overboard. Also, I love the concept of hosting and having little parties, but I suck at them. I'm terrible. I get in a really bad mood every time. I get super stressed out. I'm a mega perfectionist, and I don't think that's compatible with hosting. But I love the concept of hosting. So every time I do it, I just want to be 1% better than the previous time. That's all I want. 1% better than myself. I don't mean like the situation itself, because I host great, you know? But I mean like my stress levels and my mood. I always get so moody and then I turn into such a diabolical person. And no one could put up with me. And I don't want to be that person. I want my son to grow up thinking of me as the fun, enthusiastic mom who loves to host and have his friends around and a family around and do all these little parties and gatherings. That's my goal. So I just need to keep improving. So, like I'm saying, I am going to be doing a couple of things for his party here. Namely, I'm going to attempt and bake his birthday cake. I used to bake birthday cakes way back in the day, but it's been a while. Also, I've been talking for 8.5 minutes and you're just staring at my face. So how about I'm gonna keep telling you the things, but then I will put you on voiceover at some point. So by the time you're hearing this, you're probably already on voiceover, because I don't want you to just be bored staring at my face. So let me keep telling you what's happening. I'm gonna attempt to bake his birthday cake, and back in the day when I was at uni, I used to bake birthday cakes professionally. I don't know if you knew this about me, you probably didn't, because why would you? But it's been a long while since I did that, and I'm a bit nervous because again, I'm a perfectionist, and I keep picturing the stress that I'm gonna have if the day before the party I'm trying to bake the cake and then everything is gonna go wrong, because obviously everything is gonna go wrong. What do you expect when you try to bake a cake? And I don't know, I feel like I'm not gonna be able to embrace this stress gracefully and be a nice person, but I'm gonna try. I feel like these are the famous last words. I'm gonna try. But then, besides that, that's obviously I'm gonna do that there at their place, which also stresses me out, cooking and baking in someone else's kitchen. But I went and I bought my own supplies, not the ingredients, but like I bought the cake pans and I bought an offset spatula and everything, just so I can have my own stuff, because I hate relying on other people's stuff and then they don't have what I need them to have or the things that I'm used to. And then I'm also gonna take like my spatulas and things, just so I'm used to what I'm working with. So that should be fine. But besides that, there's two things that I want to try and do. I want to try and do some like cardboard letters that are boxes where you can fill with food on the inside saying T and J. So TJ obviously, and put on the table. And you can buy these online pre-made, but they are quite expensive. So instead of paying like £10, I'm just gonna spend like 10 hours attempting to recreate them to then fail and order them again. But here's what I'm trying to do. I'll put a picture on the screen, and to do that I have some cardboard here. I have a box of cereal and I have a box of empty Cokes, and I printed the letters, but to be honest I haven't even looked at this properly. These are probably not big enough. I'm just trying to picture them. See, I have a really hard time making decisions. Obviously the T is not complete, but what I was gonna do is I was gonna measure here and then I was just gonna add here whatever it's missing. Because I made them as big as I can for an A4 piece of paper, but then I'm trying to picture this on the table. And so the idea is that there was gonna be little foods here, and I don't know if they're big enough, but then if they're huge, we're gonna need too much food. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try and do one. I'm probably gonna start with the T because I'm terrified of the J. Like, how am I gonna do this round bit? But that's my idea. And then another thing that I wanna do is this idea here with pictures of his face and little party hats. So I have a whole load of pictures here. They're already printed and I made them all black and white. Look at him! Look at him! I can't believe he's turning one. I made them all black and white so they match, and I'm supposed to cut around the faces. So I tried choosing pictures ever since he was a newborn until now, but only pictures where you can see where like the whole face is visible, so I can cut it, and not too big because otherwise it would be too different from the other pictures. But we will have multiple different sizes of pictures. Oh my god! I mean, I can't. Can you? I can't. So there's that. And then for this project I also got materials for the party hat. So I got this block of cardboard and it's pastel colors. So it has a bunch of different patterns, and I don't know if this is too girly. I had the look inside on the store and I thought it was okay. But then obviously I'm second guessing everything, because what if it's too girly? Is it too girly? Or like, should it be bright colors instead of pastels? But well, now it is what it is. This is what I got, so this is what I'm gonna use. And I got some pompons to put on the little top of the hat and some rope, and then I'm gonna make like a banner of them. But I have so many pictures that my original idea for this was to make actually like toothpicks for like cupcakes and things, although I don't think I'm gonna have cupcakes, but I could just put them on the other foods. So I might save like the ones that have the smaller faces, because some pictures are from the distance so the faces are smaller. I might make those into Q-tips. Toothpicks, which I also bought, they're downstairs, question mark, and then use the bigger ones to put the party hats on. and do that. So lots of things to figure out. I think I'm going to start with the letter trays, just because I need to know if this is possible or not. Oh, and then the other day when I went to the shops, I also bought a card for the new owners of the house, and I want to write them an emotional message. You know how I am. I'm an emotional person, and I don't know, I love nostalgia. I love and I hate it. But my idea was I was going to write them a card / letter just saying how important and how many memories we had in this house as a family, and basically we hope that they have as many good memories for their family as we did for ours. And I already get emotional thinking about this, and it makes me so emotional as well, the fact that I'm here all by myself, because I will be the only person seeing this house empty after the movers take everything, and I am not mentally prepared for that, so we're just gonna ignore that for now and not talk about it. I started watching a new show called Sweet Magnolias, I think. It's on Netflix. I started tonight. I watched, I think, just the first episode. And I don't know, it showed up as recommended to me, and I understand why. It has a little bit of Virgin River vibes. If you ever watch that, that show is so good, like small town things. Which is interesting because I hate the concept of small towns, and things like in books. I still don't like it. I don't like it in real life, and then in books I don't like it either. But then I love Virgin River. So I feel like I'm just a different person when I'm watching Virgin River. But yeah, it showed up as the recommended to me, and I've started watching it. Mixed feelings. I didn't hate it, but obviously I didn't love it. I think it's very difficult for a series to make you love it straight away from the pilot. But if you have a series that you think made that for you, was able to accomplish being like super gripping and exciting straight away from the first episode, then please let me know, because I love those kind of recommendations. But yeah, it's alright, I'll definitely keep watching it. One thing that I finished watching yesterday was One Day, the series that everyone was raving about a few months back, and as always I'm late for the party, so I finally watched it, and oh my god, the way I sobbed at the end. I didn't think that the whole series was super impactful, like some people say it is. To be honest, I was a bit bored most of the time. It's a limited series, 14 episodes, and they're only half an hour each, I think. But the last two, either only the last one or the last two, I don't remember where the emotional damage started, but at some point it damaged me emotional, and the way I sobbed, ladies and gentlemen, oh my god. If you haven't watched it, then be prepared with a pack of tissues. There's also a movie that's based on the same novel, and I watched that movie years ago when it came out. It's from 2011, and I'm trying to get it to watch it again because I want to see if it's as emotional, devastating as the movie is. But so far I haven't been any lucky. But I definitely want to rewatch it. The movie is with Anne Hathaway. So yeah, so I'm gonna get a piece of paper stuck here. Now I need it to be 7.5 centimeters. Is that what I said? I think so. That's inches. Is it 7.5? Yeah, 7.5. Okay, seems a lot. Like from this side, it seems a lot. Right, 7.5. I'm just gonna make a line here just so I have something to measure it from. See, this is what I mean. I feel like another person would just go like, they measure one side and then the rest they would just be like, yeah, it's roughly in this space. But no, I need to be precise. No, I didn't close this. And that just works in my detriment, to be honest. Because then I'm unable to accept that things sometimes are not perfect. And then I stress out. And that's not a good way to be in life. But here's my tea. You know what? Actually, it's not that bad. I'll put a bit more tape here at the back as well, just so it's properly secured. Yeah, right. So then we have the J. I'm just gonna cut it because I already have the scissors handy. So tell me, what is new to you since the last time we spoke? Because, you know what, I'm a little bit scared about my move into another country. I just feel like it's a lot. And yes, we're moving back to the place where I'm from, but I left so many years ago. I was a different person back then, and so were the people that I knew back then. So in a way, yes, I'm going back, but in a way, it's like going to a complete new place, and like I feel like I don't have friends left in there. Everyone moved on with their lives, and I tried to keep in touch with them through the years, but if you ever moved away to a different country, or I guess then in the US it would be the same as moving to a different state that is not like the state next door. If you ever did a big move like that, you know that it's difficult. Like, yes, obviously you're able to keep in touch with some people, but sometimes life just gets in the way and you have your own new life and people have their own things and everyone's getting on with things. And eventually, sometimes, just things have to give, and friendships suffer, and it's difficult. Maintaining adult friendships, I feel like it's different. It's difficult in any case, because people are busy and tired and working, and then they have families and kids. But then if you're further away, I feel like it's even more difficult. So if you've ever been through that experience yourself, you know what I'm talking about, that it's difficult to maintain those friendships. Right, so what do you think of this? Is this a good size for what I was telling you of like putting the snacks in? Is this gonna be enough to, because obviously then it's gonna have like little walls if I'm able to achieve what I'm gonna try to achieve. But should it be bigger? I feel like no, let's keep it like that, and then I'm gonna make it with mostly cookies, because that's the theme of my invitation, and I wanted to make the whole party be cookie themed, but I wasn't able to. Like, I'm a bit sad because I couldn't really get the cookie supplies to decorate a party like that, so I kind of have to give up of that idea. But the consequence of that is that there's no really a theme now, and I wanted to have a theme. Does it matter? No, but did I want it to? Yes. So maybe by having these things full of cookies, maybe it can still happen. Oh, okay, so that's gonna be a problem, because now this is over the little lump here. I didn't think about that. See, I think the J will fit. Oh, just barely. It's fine. I can make the J fit. Oh, it fits here. Okay. So let's get this bad boy opened. I've been experiencing a lot of mixed emotions about my son's turning one. Obviously, I'm excited. I'm so excited to see what person he's becoming, and I love watching him interact with the world and making new connections and learning about the world and figuring things out. Like, I love it. Obviously, every parent ever would say that. But I am so emotional, and again, I'm a very emotional person in general, and I'm very nostalgic as well. So the concept of him turning one, and I keep thinking, oh my god, he's never gonna be that little baby again. It just makes me so sad. And if you have kids, please share your thoughts and your feelings on this. And I know we should look with excitement into the future and not with sadness into the past. And I feel like I just have both, and it's impossible to not have both. And I don't know, I'm such a nostalgic person, and I'm so excited for him turning 1, and obviously it's his first birthday and he doesn't really understand what's happening, right? But I don't know what to make of it. It's just, he's growing up so much, and he's so big now, and he no longer has that baby face. He has a face that 100% looks like a toddler. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have a toddler so soon. And I just feel like I'm not mentally prepared for that, and I miss him being that small. And there was a time in his life, around probably between like 5 and maybe 7 months old, where we were co-sleeping with him because he would just refuse to sleep on his crib, to be honest. And we were like, you know what, let's just go sleep and see where this leads us. And not only we were co-sleeping, but there was a time there where he would only sleep if I was hugging him. So like I would lay down and have his head on my arm, like if I was spooning him, but he would be facing me. And obviously it was not the most comfortable thing for me because I had to stay still for hours. Like I couldn't go to the other side, and I was a bit done with sleeping always on the same side, like on my same side. But he was so sweet, and I would look at him and see his little face there, and he was asleep, and he was so peaceful, asleep in my arm. And even then I knew, I was looking at him and I knew I was gonna miss that one day, but I was just not prepared to miss it this much. I knew I was gonna miss it, but everything was very abstract up until then. And I don't know which point I'm trying to make with this, but I can't believe he's turning 1. And I feel like everyone always feels like this, and it's probably always the same in every single birthday. I can't believe he's turning 2, I can't believe he's turning 7. It's probably always like that. But in a way, I feel like maybe the first birthday is a bit more emotional. Or maybe I'm just being naive. Right, so now I'm thinking I'm gonna make like the barriers. Yeah, maybe more this size would be better, no? So let's make it more this size. This is where I haven't really thought that much on how it's gonna work, like how am I gonna attach this. I'm thinking tape, and then I was thinking making a mixture of white glue, water, and then use like kitchen towels and just put the whole thing on, and then it hardens. And I used to make that in like arts and crafts when I was a kid. And I'm thinking that this is to cut. And I'm thinking perhaps that's gonna be a good use of that technique, because then the whole thing will get strong and it will cover the tape, obviously. And then because obviously I want to put food on it, I can either just be like, oh, screw it and just put the food directly on it, or maybe I could then cover it with foil. I don't know, I haven't thought that far into it because I didn't want to get too excited about this project and then having it not work out at all. So I just haven't thought that much into it. Looks like a box. It's definitely a T. I definitely need to make it sturdier, but I think I can do with that mixture that I was telling you about. So I think I'm gonna, while I have the cardboard out, I'm gonna attempt to do the J, but then I will do just one of them with the mixture and let it dry and see if it indeed works or not before I waste all my time doing the other one. But let's go ahead and figure out the J, and with YouTube magic. I can't believe I managed. Oh my god, I am quite proud of myself. So next step is I'm gonna go to the kitchen and I'm gonna do my mixture of white glue. Is it called PVA glue or something? And water, equal parts. I need to find a brush. I hope I still have a brush left from when we painted like the offices and things, because otherwise it's gonna have to be a project for tomorrow so I can go buy a brush, but hopefully I still have one. And then I'm gonna use kitchen towels, like in strips, to do it. I think you can also use newspaper, and probably newspaper would be a little bit better than kitchen towels, but I don't have any newspaper. I'm a bit nervous because you know what? It's not that bad at the moment, but obviously I'm not going to put it like this on the table. So it's not that bad, but I don't want to ruin it. That's why I want to start with the T, because if I do ruin it, I can make another T easily, because the J was with the curve a bit more complicated. So that's my plan, let's go. So I don't want to damage my table, and I don't have like an arts and craft mat or anything because my son is not there yet, but I do have this disposable paper thing, a table thing, and I think I bought for my baby shower actually, but because it wasn't damaged or dirty, I just wiped it and I kept it. So I'm gonna put this on the table and use this to protect it, because if this gets ruined, it's no big deal. But this is the smallest brush I could find. We had 3 brushes left from when we painted some walls, and the other ones are much larger. I wanted something a little bit smaller because, I mean, I guess it will do. I don't know, let's see. If it doesn't, we'll abort and I'll buy another brush tomorrow. So we have this. We have the letters. Like I said, I'm gonna start with the T, but I have the J here as well. And then this is the glue that I was telling you. It's PVA glue. It's usually used for like wood stuff, but it can also be used for anything. In here on this specific one, it says for the home or classroom project, clean and easy to use for paper, card, wood, fabric, and much more. Basically, you know, I always called it white glue. It literally looks like paint. But I'm gonna mix this in equal parts with water, because that's the way I learned to do this mixture. And I'm gonna use just a little old takeaway container. This way I don't need to wash it, because obviously it's glue. So I can just bin it afterwards. Water to mix with it. And then we need obviously the paper, which I'm gonna use paper towels. So mine are not super thick, so hopefully works. If I recall correctly, usually you do like 1 layer and then you leave it to dry and you do another layer and then you leave it to dry, and sometimes you even do a 3rd, but 2 for sure. Like 2 hours since I finished the letters. The camera ran out of battery while I was doing it, so I just continued. And I don't remember if there's footage of me doing the J, but I ended up doing the J as well because I had some more glue left in the bowl. I was like, might as well just do it. So I've just been chilling on the sofa, and I was gonna get ready to go to bed, but I thought, oh, let me go check how it is, if they're drying nicely. They look fine. I'll show you in a second. I'll show you right now. But they're not dried at all, and it's been already 2 hours. Obviously, I didn't expect them to be fully dried, but I expected them to be a little bit dried, but they're not at all. And I didn't measure. You know how I said it's equal parts glue and water? I didn't measure it. I just eyeballed. And obviously now I'm thinking, did I put too much water in it and now it's not gonna dry? This is why I should have tested just with the tea, because it was the easiest one to redo. Because now if this doesn't dry and I have to do the whole thing again, I don't know. If I have to do the whole thing again, I don't know if I'm gonna. But have a look. So like, they look great, especially the J, because I feel like this one I was still trying to find the best way of doing it, and I was kind of just patching everything. But this one I had a method, so I laid the bottom first, like the base, and then I put 1 layer like on the curve from the bottom, and then afterwards I did 1 layer on the curve from the top, so it looks much neater and like cohesive. This one is more of a patch job, but you see what I mean? First of all, the cardboard is like waving because it's so soaked, and if I touch it, like, it's so soft. And this one as well. And I'm just wondering if it has too much water, because I don't know, like, look at this. Obviously this is driving my perfectionist self crazy. I'm really gonna try and not be too crazy with the perfectionist. It's a homemade job, and it's not going to be perfect, but it's clearly a T and a J, so people will be able to understand, and it will still make an impact on the table. But obviously seeing that wonky line, I'm like, ah! Either way, I'm gonna go to bed, and I will carry on this video tomorrow. Also, this thing, great shout to put in, because as you saw when I was filming the time-lapse thing, I don't know if it was very obvious, but oh my god, it was so messy, and even the brush and everything, I ended up just dipping the pieces of paper in, and I thought that was the best method. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm gonna go to bed and put some batteries charging and all that, and I'll see you tomorrow. We still have the faces things to do and all of those things, and even though I'm not packing, there's a few things I want to do, like remove the things from the walls. I love this, and I cannot wait to put this in our new home as well. So there's a few things I still want to do along the next few weeks, so I'm just gonna carry on with this vlog. I need to start editing it as well, because otherwise I know I'm gonna hate myself at the end. And once I have a good amount of time, that's when I'll finish the vlog. So that's why I also need to start editing, so that I can see when I have enough footage to just finish it. So I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, I'm working on my next art and craft project, which is the garland with my son's face party hats with the supplies I bought the other day. So let me show you how I organized this. So I had a bunch of pictures, and then I cut just the face, and then I cut just the faces out, which is a bit creepy, I realized. I still have some more pictures, but I just had way too many because I couldn't choose when I was printing them. So these ones here are teeny tiny, but they are still cute pictures that I would like to include. So I'm thinking maybe I'll use these ones for skewers, and I don't know if I'll put party hats on these ones or not, TBD. And then the bigger ones, I try to organize them in a way that makes sense. I think I'm gonna do like 2 lines, and then I can either put them side by side depending on where I put them, or I can put one on top of the other. And I try to distribute the sizes, so like this one is quite big, so smaller, then another bigger one, smaller, bigger one. I also try to mix the ages, so here is older, and here is a teeny tiny baby, and here's a tiny baby, and here's a bit older. So I try to somehow make it diverse. And now I just went to grab my supplies, and I'm not going to do them all today because it's already quite late, but I definitely want to try. So I have my craft paper, and I have my pompons, and I'm not sure how I'm going to attach everything, but I'm thinking that the hat itself, I can use double-sided tape just on top of the head, and then the pompons, ideally I use a hot glue gun, but I'm not going to buy one just for this, although now that I'm a mom, perhaps one day I will invest in a hot glue gun. But I'm thinking that maybe the glue that I used for the other project, although that glue is finished, so I don't know, I might try just stick glue, tube glue. It's probably not strong enough, but I could try, and if it holds the pom-pom, I mean, it holds. And then the other question is, how am I going to get the string through all of this? So I'm thinking I'll put the hat on, and then I'll do a little hole on the tip of the hat, which I'll use to string the string along, and then I'll put the pompon covering that. But I'm not sure if that's gonna work, so we're gonna have to try. And I'm also not sure how I'm gonna make the hats, like how I'm gonna measure them, so I'm gonna work on this, and then I'll come back and I'll let you know what works. Good morning. You might hear some background noise because I'm just waiting for my bed sheets to finish washing so I can put them to dry, and then I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna pick up a walker for my son from a town nearby. I found it on Facebook Marketplace, and supposedly it's one of those wood ones, and it's also kind of a busy board, so I thought it would be a nice first birthday present, so I'm gonna pick it up, although he's only gonna get it after his birthday because I'm gonna have to put it with the moving company stuff. But it should be fine. The things are arriving apparently on the week of his birthday as well. Long story short. Anyway, these I think are done. So the T has one extra layer than the J, and that's why it's a bit more white. And yes, it definitely got wonky at top, and I think it was that first time the mixture probably had too much water, like I mentioned. But it's rock solid, and it's a bit more rock solid than the J, but the J is also pretty sturdy, so I don't think it's worth putting another layer, because like I said, when I did the J, I was I was a bit more clever about how I laid the pieces. I did the bottom and then I did the edges and the tops, and then the following day I flipped it and I did the back as well. So even though it only has one layer, the pieces were placed in a more clever way. So I think it's actually alright, and chances are I'm not gonna keep these because yes, it's a cool concept, and if they turned out great, I would definitely keep them for years to come. But because the tea isn't great, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna keep them, so they'll probably end up in recycling afterwards. So there's no point in putting way too much effort into them. But I'm obviously gonna paint it white. So I think that's what I'm gonna do tonight. Try and paint it. But I don't know. I have mixed feelings because like the edges. I don't know if the camera will be able to capture that. The edges on this one are obviously slightly thicker because it has one extra layer of paper. But I don't know. I still need to think about it. But I don't think it makes a difference, like, once they're on the table with things inside, I don't think it will matter. Like, now the difference is quite noticeable because this one is more white, but once they're both fully white, it should be okay. Unless I'm not able to make this one fully white, because obviously it has the blue from the cereal box. I'll try. I can always make like 2 or 3 coats of paint as well, so, right? Okay, so that should be done. And then last night I ended up not showing you, and I was like, oh, I'm only gonna do like one piece to see how it turns out, but I ended up doing all of them. So let me show you with more attention. So this is what they look like, and the pompons are still not attached. I tested in a piece of paper and they do stay quite well attached with double-sided glue, the double-sided tape like I did for the hats. But I haven't done that yet, so I just laid the pompons on top so I could see how it looked like. And I mean, it is a bit silly, but I think it's also a bit cute. So that's gonna be my other task for today, is attach the pompons. And these little ones, I don't remember if I mentioned, but these ones I'm gonna put on toothpicks, and I don't think I'm gonna put party hats on those, just so it's not all the same. But yeah, I cut the triangles and then I attached with just one strip of double-sided tape here. Like I put the tape on the base of the triangle itself, and then I just put the triangles on top of the faces, and I think it looks super cute. So my plans for today are going to be to finish this, to do at least one paint layer on the letters, and to go pick up the walker. And then I started writing a list because, you know, I need to have lists to be able to function. So I started writing a list on the things that I need to do before the moving company people arrive. And yes, they are packing for us, but at the same time there is a few things, like it specifically says that the things need to be clean. Obviously no one's expecting a house to be pristine just before you move, but for instance, under our bed there's drawers, storage drawers, and especially the ones at the back, because they're blocked by the side tables, they haven't been used in months, so they're probably going to be quite nasty with dust and hair and like dead skin and whatever accumulates in their beds. So I definitely want to get those out before the guys arrive and vacuum the drawers, just so they're not absolutely disgusting. So this is my list of the things that I need to do. It's quite an extensive list, but some things are very quick. Other things that I need to do is get the TV boxes that we have stored in the garage, bring them in and put them next to the correspondent TV so they know where to go. Then I need to remove our gate, so we have a gate here by the front door, and then we have another one in the kitchen. I need to remove those. I need to disassemble the crib myself and disassemble the kitchen table, and a couple of other bits, and then I need to pack a suitcase for myself. So things that I don't want the movers to pack, I don't want to have them still in places, because otherwise I need to go after them every room they go into and be like, oh, don't pack that. So before they arrive, I want to have my suitcase fully packed, so this way I can tell them, everything you see, pack, and leave that suitcase in the house. And that will be the things that I'm gonna live out of for the 2 or 3 days while I'll still be here. And then obviously the clothes for his birthday party and the things that I need to carry to the party itself, so I might put those in a separate bag because I don't necessarily need them in the suitcase, because then I'm taking that suitcase to Portugal with me the following day when I go with TJ. So it's a lot to do, but we're getting excited. It's happening. We still don't have the confirmation of when the movers are gonna come to pack, but it should be not the next week, the one after. So I still have time, and I don't want to overwhelm myself, and I also want to enjoy the time that I'm spending alone in the house, because this hasn't happened in forever, and I'm actually quite enjoying myself and having time for myself. So my idea is to do a little bit every day, so that when the time comes, everything is done and I don't need to spend like 2 or 3 full days non-stop doing things. That's my idea. Let's see how we get on.